Menace to Society from 1993 shocked audiences with its gritty storytelling, powerful performances, and unflinching look at life in the inner city. But what was the uncensored scene that almost got the film banned? And why did it spark so much controversy? From bold directorial choices and graphic content to public outrage and rating battles, here's the full story of the scene that nearly kept Menace to Society out of theaters. In 1992, a bold vision began taking shape in the minds of twin brothers Alan and Albert Hughes. They were just 20 years old when Menace to Society was first announced by New Line Cinema on July 27, 1992. What started as an ambitious project by two young directors would soon become one of the most powerful and unfiltered portrayals of urban life in South Central Los Angeles. At first, casting seemed promising. Rappers Tupac Shakur and Spice One were lined up to play major roles. Tupac was cast as Sharif and Spice One was to play the lead Kane. Rapper MC Ren was also considered for the role of a Wax. However, in late 1992, MC Ren joined the Nation of Islam and stepped away from the project. He was replaced by another West Coast rapper, MC 8, who brought a raw street presence to the role of a Wax. The Hughes brothers, who had earlier directed Tupac's music video for Brenda's Got a Baby, were brought on board as directors. Their connection to Tupac seemed like an asset, but things didn't go as planned. Once filming began in the Watts neighborhood of Los Angeles, tensions quickly rose. The shoot itself was unique. When the riot stopped, the drug started. My father's so dope and my mother was a heroin addict. The production hired real-life residents from the Jordan Downs projects to appear as extras, and the Grape Street Watts Crips were brought in to work as on-set security. This added a level of realism that was hard to replicate on any Hollywood set. But the biggest challenge was behind the scenes. According to director Alan Hughes, Tupac began causing issues on set, frequently questioning the way his character Sharif was written. The role was that of a former street kid who had become a devout Muslim. Tupac didn't feel the script explained his character's transition properly. He wanted more depth. He wanted the film to show why Sherry had changed. Without those answers, Tupac grew frustrated. MC8 later explained, "Every time we got ready to rehearse, he had an opinion about his character. He wanted them to write in the script why he turned Muslim, and they wouldn't do it. We all know Pop, very vocal, very outspoken. He wanted to understand why he was being Sharif. MHM, why is 8 the banger? That's what angered him. Eventually, the tension became too much. Both Tupac and Spice One were fired early into filming. That decision had consequences. 6 months later, Tupac attacked Alan Hughes and was found guilty of assault and battery. Despite that troubled start, Hughes later acknowledged Tupac's talent, saying, "If Pac had been in the movie, he would have outshined everyone." But the production had to move on. Tyrone Turner was cast as Kane and Loren Tate took on the role of OD Dog. The final cast came together from a mix of experienced actors and street-smart newcomers, giving the film its gritty, authentic feel. The story of Menace to Society follows Kane through a life shaped by crime, substances, and death, offering viewers a deep look into a young man's inner conflict. Back in 1993, this was a story that hadn't been told in such raw detail. The film didn't soften the truth. It didn't preach, it simply showed. And that's exactly why it hit so hard. Audiences at the time were shocked by the realism. It wasn't the kind of urban story wrapped in Hollywood drama. It was messy, it was violent, and it felt real. The film's soundtrack, released by Jive Records on May 26, 1993, played a big part in setting the mood. Music, filled with hard-hitting hip-hop tracks, it topped the R&B hip-hop charts and reached number 11 on the Billboard 200. It helped carry the message of the film beyond the screen. Distribution and re-releases of Menace to Society kept the story alive. The director's cut was released by the Criterion Collection in January 1994 on Laserdisc and later on DVD in 1997. In 2009, another DVD version of the director's cut came out. The film was later packaged with other street classics like Juice, New Jack City, and Set It Off, ensuring new generations had access to its story. Hey, won't you give my homeboy a chance? I don't want any trouble. Let's get out. Stand. In 2021, Criterion announced a 4K Ultra HD release, making it part of their first ever collection in that format. Looking back, Menace to Society wasn't just a movie. It was a wake-up call. It exposed the pain, rage, and hopelessness that lived in the hearts of many young people growing up in violent, neglected communities. The Hughes brothers, despite their early challenges and controversies, managed to direct a film that would be studied, referenced, and remembered for decades. While it faced tough competition from major films that year, Menace to Society still made its mark with award nominations, wins, and long-term influence on popular culture. Critically, the film received mostly positive reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes, it holds an approval rating of 84% based on 45 critic reviews. The consensus praised the Hughes brothers' storytelling, describing it as a gangland epic that breathes with authenticity while steeped in style. Several critics went further. Emmanuel Levy gave the film an A rating, calling it the most stunning feature debut in the new African-American cinema, even saying it stood out more than Boys in the Hood, which had been a defining moment for Black cinema. Roger Ebert also gave high praise, putting it on his list of the top 10 films of 1993. Menace to Society is a powerful and important film directed by the Hughes brothers. They resist any temptation to manufacture a phony upside to what is obviously a tragic story. I agree. He admired how the film told Kane's story without forcing him into the role of a hero or a victim. Gene Sisco agreed, also placing it in his year-end top 10. Of course, the film wasn't free from criticism. Jeff Andrew from Time Out felt the film leaned on too many cliches. And Stephen Holden from the New York Times noted that while the film had strong ambience, it didn't fully develop its characters. But despite these opinions, the film's realistic tone and bold visuals stood out, and its impact couldn't be ignored. The awards season brought both recognition and surprises. At the 1994 MTV Movie Awards, Menace to Society took home the award for Best Movie. This was no small feat. It beat out massive titles like Jurassic Park, Philadelphia, and Schindler's List. It was a clear sign that the film connected deeply with younger audiences, especially those who saw their own lives reflected on screen for the first time. What I want to talk to you too about is the trouble that you'll be getting into. Boys, the Lord didn't put you here to be shooting and killing each other. The film also saw success at the Independent Spirit Awards, where it received multiple nominations. It was nominated for Best First Feature, recognizing the directing debut of Alan and Albert Hughes alongside producer Darren Scott. While it didn't win in that category, El Mariachi by Robert Rodriguez took the prize. Menace to Society still walked away with one major win, Best Cinematography, awarded to Lisa Rinsler. Her visual work gave the film its distinct look, mixing gritty realism with stylistic edge. Tyrone Turner, who played the lead role of Kane, was also nominated for Best Male Lead at the Independent Spirit Awards. Though he didn't win, his performance received wide praise and helped launch his career. The NAACP Image Awards also recognized the film, nominating it for Outstanding Motion Picture in 1994. Even international festivals acknowledged the film. At the Cannes Film Festival in 1993, Menace to Society was part of the Director's Fortnight, a section known for showcasing bold and original filmmaking. There it earned 2 nominations, one for the Golden Camera and another for the SACD Prize. These nominations helped the Hughes brothers gain credibility as young filmmakers with a strong voice even outside the United States. Despite being a modest-budget film, Menace to Society performed well at the box office. It earned $27.9 million in the United States and Canada and $1.6 million internationally, bringing its worldwide total to $29.5 million. In the years that followed, the film's influence only grew. It became a cultural touchstone for both filmmakers and musicians. In 2013, Kanye West shared on the Brett East and Ellis podcast that Menace to Society was one of his most watched favorite films. Its legacy is also preserved through its continued presence in home media. Over the years, it has been released in several formats, including a director's cut and later in 2021 as part of Criterion's first ever 4K Ultra HD collection. Looking back, the reception and recognition of Menace to Society reflect more than just awards. It shows the power of storytelling when it's done with honesty and urgency. When Menace to Society was released in 1993, it wasn't just another movie. It was a hard look at real life in the inner city. In interviews, Albert Hughes made it clear the movie was made mainly for white people to understand what was really happening in places like Watts, Los Angeles. But black audiences also connected to it deeply because it showed a reality they already knew. The story follows Kane, a young man growing up in a violent and poor neighborhood. He's smart and has people who care about him, but trouble keeps finding him. His best friend, OD Dog, is wild and dangerous. Together, they get involved in crimes, fights, and situations that pull them deeper into the streets. Are you watching out? __. Hurry the ___ up. I don't know what the ___ I'm doing. You just watch out. __. Come on, man. From the very first scene, the movie sets a dark and serious tone. Kane and O-Dog walk into a liquor store, and a few minutes later both store owners are shot dead. The murders happen quickly, showing just how fast life can change in the hood. That opening scene is still talked about today because it shows how violence can happen without warning. The Hughes brothers didn't show the killings in a dramatic way. They made them feel real and sudden. That was the point. As Alan Hughes later said, that first scene prepared the audience for what the rest of the movie would be like. Kane's life is shaped by pain. He loses his parents when he's young. His dad is a substance dealer who kills someone in front of him. And his mom dies from substance-related issues. When the riot stopped, the drugs started. My father's so dope, and my mother was a heroin addict. He's raised by his grandparents who try to guide him, but the streets have a stronger pull. Friends like OD Dog and a Wax keep leading him toward trouble. And even though people around him, like Ronnie and Sherry, want him to leave the hood, Kane struggles to believe there's a better future waiting for him. What made Menace to Society different from other movies at the time, like Boys in the Hood, was its tone. While Boys offered hope and lessons about doing better, Menace was raw and blunt. It showed characters who weren't thinking about change. They were just trying to survive. The Hughes brothers interviewed real gang members before making the movie, and that added to the film's realism. The language, the settings, the actions, it all felt true to life. The character of OD Dog, played by Loren Tate, is one of the most unforgettable parts of the film. He's violent and unpredictable, but also proud of his actions. He even watches and shows off a tape of himself committing a murder like it's a trophy. Yo, Wax. Check out Kane back there with a 40 looking like a sucker. Why don't you get up in there, boy? Hey, check this out. Check this out. The movie makes it clear he's not someone to admire, but someone shaped by his harsh environment. As the screenwriter Tiger Williams said, if OD Dog is your idol, then we can't help you. Menace to Society also added some dark humor. There's a scene where Kane robs someone at a drive-thru and still makes him order a cheeseburger. These moments make the characters feel real, not just like movie criminals. The film faced some criticism. Some black leaders worried it would reinforce negative stereotypes. But the Hughes brothers said they weren't trying to glamorize violence. They were showing what life was really like for many young black men. If you're showing what's actually going on in that world, it's an anti-violent movie, Albert Hughes explained. In the end, Menace to Society doesn't offer a happy ending. Kane is killed just as he's about to leave for a new life. His story is tragic, but it's honest. It shows that in some neighborhoods, escaping the streets isn't easy, and sometimes it's not even possible. Behind the raw storytelling and unforgettable scenes in Menace to Society was a production filled with its own drama, danger, and tough decisions. What you see on screen only tells part of the story. Off camera, the making of this film was just as intense as the world it portrayed. Filming took place in the Jordan DS housing projects in Watts, Los Angeles, real __ territory. It was chosen for its gritty and realistic setting, but that came with serious risks. One major incident happened when members of the Hacienda Village Bloods, a rival gang, showed up during filming. They shot at the set, forcing production to shut down for 2 full days. The Hughes brothers had taken precautions by hiring local gang members to act as security. But even that didn't stop the threats. Come on, brother. You wasn't there long enough to catch the HIV. __. But you won't go anywhere. Shooting a film about gang life in a real gang neighborhood quickly became a dangerous balancing act. Director Alan Hughes later admitted that the movie didn't turn out exactly as they planned. He said the final product was only 80% there. Both Alan and his brother Albert felt they ran out of time to shoot some of the scenes they wanted. They also didn't think the movie turned out as edgy or as hard-hitting as they had hoped. Still, once the editing was done, they realized they had created something powerful, just not quite the version they originally imagined. some scenes didn't make it into the final cut. One major scene that was removed featured a full-on prison riot. It was considered too intense and would have pushed the movie into an NC-17 rating, which would limit how many people could see it in theaters. On top of that, the Hughes brothers admitted they weren't ready to handle such a large-scale action scene at that stage in their careers. Another deleted scene involved a character described as too gangster. The actor was convincing, but his role didn't fit into the story, so the scene was dropped completely. The character of Kane was also changed during the writing and filming process. In the original script, he was much more violent, but the team decided to scale that back. They wanted the audience to relate to Kane, not just see him as another criminal. By making him more human and less extreme. Go ahead, drop that fool. Rush you, __ rush you. Hell yeah. The Hughes brothers were able to connect viewers more deeply to his struggle. Even some smaller scenes went through changes. For example, the moment when Shanta gets a visit from the car dealer was supposed to feature rapper Too Short as the character Lou, but the Hughes brothers felt he didn't fit the part well enough. They rewrote and recast the scene to make it more believable. Making Menace to Society was risky and stressful, but those behind-the-scenes decisions and challenges are part of what made it feel so real. Every change, every setback helped shape a film that would go on to become a classic. Tyrone Turner, who played the lead character Kane, gave a strong and emotional performance that many still remember. After the film, he made a few appearances in movies and TV shows like Chicago Hope. He also played a flashy hustler named Big in the 1998 film Belly, directed by Hype Williams. While he hasn't done as many lead acting roles since Menace to Society, Tyrone has stayed busy behind the scenes. For more than 20 years, he's written comedy material for stars like Jamie Foxx and Afin Crockett. He's also returned to acting and currently has a role in the Hulu series Missing Persons Unit. Lawrence Tate, who played the unpredictable O-Dog, quickly became one of the most popular young actors of the 90s. After Menace to Society, he starred in The Inkwell, playing a shy and awkward teenager. Time of experience. Hi, I got to go. Yeah, I have to go too. Bye. Anything you want to know. I mean, anything. And then took on a much darker role as a troubled Vietnam War veteran in Dead Presidents. He continued to show his acting range in Why Do Fools Fall in Love, where he played singer Frankie Lyman. More recently, he joined the hit TV series Power and its spin-off Power Book 2, Ghost, where he plays Councilman Rashad Tate. Loren has remained a strong and versatile actor over the years. Jada Pinkett, who played Ronnie, was already known for her role in the sitcom A Different World when she joined the cast of Menace to Society. After the movie, her film career took off, and she also took on work behind the scenes. She starred in and produced the medical drama Hawthorne. In recent years, she became widely known for hosting the Emmy-winning show Red Table Talk on Facebook, where she discussed personal topics with her family and guests. When we said we wanted to bring them to the table, I was like, well, what do you want to talk about? He said, mushrooms. Yeah. The magic kind, of course. Yeah. In 2023, she released her autobiography called Worthy, where she opened up about her life and her marriage to actor Will Smith. Samuel L. Jackson had a small but powerful role in Menace to Society as Kane's father. Since then, he's become one of the most successful actors in the world. He's acted in over 100 films, including Pulp Fiction, The Avengers, and Django Unchained. His movies have made over $27 billion at the box office, making him one of the highest-grossing actors of all time. Anesthetic injection. DC Metro Police Dispatch shows no units in this area. In 2022, he received an honorary Academy Award for his achievements in film. Clifton Powell also appeared in the movie and continued to work steadily in Hollywood. He's best known for playing strong supporting roles in both movies and television. One of his most recognized performances was in the biopic Ray, where he played a key role and earned an NAACP Image Award nomination. He has been part of many different kinds of projects and remains a respected actor in the industry. MC8, who played a Wax, was already known as a rapper before the film. He was a member of the rap group Compton's Most Wanted and created the song Straight Up Menace, which became the theme of the film. Childhood. Music. After Menace to Society, he stayed active in music and also voiced the character Ryder in the popular video game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Kundi Alexander, who had a smaller role in the movie, went on to have a long and steady career. She appeared in many popular films and shows including What's Love Got to Do with It, Scandal, and CSI Miami where she played Dr. Alex Woods. Alex Jane Doe. I just got her Horatio. I'll have results within the hour. Okay, Alex, I need something right now. Before her acting career took off, she was also a professional dancer and even choreographed for Whitney Houston's international tours. The cast of Menace to Society came together to tell a powerful and unforgettable story. And even though the film was made decades ago, each of them has continued to grow and stay connected to the world of entertainment.